Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our senior engineering consultant hats. We're going to dive into a topic that is quite literally the silent difference between a facility that runs flawlessly for decades and one that is just plagued by catastrophic million-dollar failures. We're talking about industrial cable tray selection, but more specifically, we're breaking down the foolproof pre-procurement framework you absolutely need to have locked down before you even think about signing a purchase order.
All right, here's our blueprint for today. We'll start with the consultant's reality check, then look at 5 common rework mistakes, dive into the 3-step selection framework, explore facility zoning strategies, and wrap up with global standards and compliance. This structured approach is exactly how the experts prevent those massive, costly facility failures.
So, let's jump right into part 1, the consultant's reality check. Because before we can talk strategy, we really need a major mindset shift.
Think about this for a second. Is your cable tray just a surface finish? I know it's kind of a provocative question, but it immediately challenges a really dangerous assumption in our industry. You see, way too many procurement teams look at a cable tray and they just see a shiny metal chute holding some wires. But if you treat this selection process as purely aesthetic, like picking a paint color out of a catalog, you are already setting your facility up for failure.
The engineering reality is actually pretty stark here. Material selection is not cosmetic at all. It's a critical engineering choice that dictates your support spacing, your grounding integrity, thermal movement, and ultimately your service life. Pick the wrong material and your supports fail, your grounding is compromised, and the entire infrastructure starts to warp. That surface finish? It's literally just the tip of the iceberg.
Moving on to part 2, 5 common rework mistakes, or where projects actually go wrong. Because understanding where others fail is hands down the best way to bulletproof your own design.
Look, rework is the absolute enemy of any engineering consultant. It drains your budgets, blows up your timelines, and just introduces massive risk. And we see procurement teams consistently make one of 5 critical material and installation errors during the selection process. But you know what the truly fascinating part is? It's where these mistakes actually originate.
Okay, here is the consultant's secret. Straight sections, they are almost always falsely blamed when a system fails. The true starting point of catastrophic rework is actually the fittings. It's the corners, the intersections, those really complex joints where the material's actual engineering properties are put to the ultimate test. If your pre-procurement framework ignores the integrity of the fittings, you are completely exposed.
That brings us to part 3, the 3-step selection framework. This is the core solution and the exact pre-procurement sequence we really want to hammer home today. You absolutely must follow this strict 3-step sequence in this exact order before signing any PO. Step 1, corrosion. Evaluate your corrosive environment first. Step 2, load and span. Once that baseline is set, calculate the physical weight the tray has to hold and the distance it's got to span. Step 3, life cycle. Finally, you factor in the required service life. Now, why this order? Well, if you calculate your load before analyzing corrosion, you might design a brilliantly strong system that literally rusts out in 6 months. The sequence is everything. Now think of this like a consultant's cheat sheet. You match the material fit directly to your specific facility condition. But more importantly, you have to establish strict avoid-when conditions. Top-tier consultants, we don't just know what works, we know exactly what will fail. Relying on these really clear boundaries takes the guesswork entirely out of the equation, so you ensure a safe match for highly specific conditions.
All right, part 4, facility zoning strategies. This is where we officially abandon that dangerous one-size-fits-all mentality.
Most industrial facilities need more than one tray material across different zones. Guys, this is a golden rule in advanced engineering strategy. Just think about it for a second. The chemical washdown area of a plant has a drastically different environmental profile than a nice, climate-controlled indoor server room, right? A proper consultant is going to segment a facility into distinct material zones based on that 3-step framework we just talked about. Forcing a single material across a complex facility guarantees one of 2 things: wild overspending or dangerously under-engineered systems.
Finally, part 5, global standards and compliance. Because, let's be real, the world's best framework means absolutely nothing if your vendor can't actually deliver.
So let's look at a benchmark example of what a truly capable vendor actually looks like in the real world. Take a company like Xinma. They manufacture comprehensive cable tray systems, busway, seismic bracing, and intelligent cable management solutions. But crucially, notice the environments they operate in: data centers, rail transit, industrial plants, commercial buildings.
When you are sourcing for these complex, multi-zoned facilities, you require a manufacturer that has the sheer breadth of capabilities to fully support this rigorous pre-procurement framework. And no matter the zoning, no matter the material, compliance is completely non-negotiable. Your vendor has got to meet verified global benchmarks. We're talking IEC 61537 for international standards, NEMA VE 1 for North America, BSEN for Europe, and GB standards for China. These aren't just random acronyms, right? They are ironclad proof of safety and longevity across every major global market. If a vendor cannot prove this level of compliance, they simply do not belong in your facility. Period. So I want to leave you with a question today. Does your current procurement strategy account for the entire life cycle? Or are you just buying straight sections and kind of crossing your fingers? Take a really hard look at your internal processes. It's time to stop treating cable trays as a simple surface finish and start enforcing a strict 3-step pre-procurement framework. Remember, catastrophic rework almost always starts at the fittings. Protect your facility, enforce the framework, and absolutely demand compliance. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer.